Okay, good morning, Brother Tuckett, CAT 360. This is Adam Hawkins. This is my presentation on my weekly journal. Grateful for the chance that I have to share this with you and to take a few minutes. Appreciate your time. I imagine you got a lot of these to do, so I'll try and be brief. I just kind of went through and did a summary of what I did in the journal, but I want to start off by sharing with you that it's kind of interesting when you start off with the class. I've always struggled with programming. My dad was a software engineer, and so he would be super proud of me, but I've never really enjoyed the side of programming. I enjoy the puzzle of fixing things, but when I saw the class and read the syllabus and started reading the comments and reviews, you get kind of that sinking feeling. I call it the pit of despair. But when I went through and started reading the reviews again online, it was trying to understand how to get basic, what it was. And I was honestly thinking, should I drop the class? Should I continue on with this? But it was interesting. As I go through, I'll share with you kind of how the journal really helped me out. So appreciate your time and let me go through this with you. So what I started to notice right off the bat from week one was the piece that comes through reflecting each week. So in my week one journal, I said the first week is always a bit overwhelming, but I think it'll be all right. I always get worried when I take programming classes. It is funny because my dad was a software engineer. I loved to code, but it was never been my passion. I enjoyed the puzzle of finding a problem with the code and fixing it, but have never enjoyed the coding process. It is like learning another language. I feel the secret to success in this class is to stay up on the assignments and not get behind. So that is what I will focus on. And it was interesting as I wrote those words out, I just kind of felt this peace come over that you realize like, okay, this is going to be a tough class, but it's going to be all right. And so as I went on through, it was interesting how the journal really helped me talk through some of the frustrations. And I won't read both of these to you. You're welcome to pause the slide if you wish to and read them. But really for me, it was kind of demoralizing. And I know this is not your fault, Brother Tuck. I don't mean to speak down in any way, but it's demoralizing when you start off the class with that F and got to work your way out. I know it's just the way they structure it. This is the first time I've ever had to deal with that in a class. And so it was really hard when you see that first grade come through and see that pit that you get stuck in to kind of work your way out. But it was interesting as you start to submit these familiarity reviews and start to get some of the grades coming back. But the journal really helped me. I talk about in week 4 how it was a frustrating week, how I kept going back trying to do the application control pattern and I just couldn't get it working. And so I finally just stopped working on it and switched to HTTP URL. And once I got working, but just writing it down in the journal and realizing what was going on, it kind of really helped me change up my mindset a little bit. So the journal really helped me talk through some of the frustrations. And then really, it helps you with your failures. In week 7, I got my first negative feedback. And like I said in the journal here, I don't really want to call it negative because you were awesome when it came to how you, explained to me what I was missing to get basic. But it helped me see that it was okay to not get the perfect on every single one that I turned in and to not be able to get that basic. Just by writing it down in the journal, I realized that, I can change things up a little bit. I can continue on. And although the first time you see it come through and your comments were great, but the first time you see it, you kind of get that pit again. You're like, oh man, am I going to be able to do this one? It was really cool to be able to see it work again, to write it down in the journal and just help through the failures. And then, of course, in week 9, sharing the successes. Week 9, I finally got basic on everything. So the F is gone, as I said. I'll be able to achieve basic and all the required traits. It's really cool to see that C pop up again. I've started to look forward to an app and reaching the A to B grade. It has been a struggle in my head to think about pushing ahead. The structure is starting with an F and having to work your way out has been difficult. There's no doubt that putting my thoughts on paper here has been helpful, but I'm having that internal struggle for sure. And I think this to me is kind of the it's the summary of everything that the journal did for me. Putting my thoughts on paper have been very helpful. And I think if I could summarize one thing, it's just that the journal saved the day. I never thought that it would have such an impact. If I'm being completely honest, I thought the journal was just going to be busy work. That it was just another thing that they wanted us to do in the class to make sure we achieve those required hours each week. But honestly, it was the journal that kind of kept me going and helped me realize that no matter what, I could prevail in the class. I can go through. And so it's something that I hope to continue on with my programming classes, and anything else that I got to do is to keep that journal. When things start to get frustrating, even if I don't ever share with anybody, just to use that journal to put my thoughts down on paper, to talk it out amongst myself, to give myself some encouragement, to share some of the failures and the successes, and to just kind of help with the project and help finish the class out. So I greatly appreciate your time, appreciate your understanding throughout this semester. It's been great to learn with you. You've been phenomenal in the comments and helping me understand exactly what I needed to achieve basic and to continue on. I definitely recommend taking a class from you again, or from any other class that I have to take. So I sure appreciate your time. Thank you so much.